What's going on, guys? You guys are tuning into the Watch Podcast with their host, owner-operator, Eric Huggins, Night Squad Patrol. We are the light in the dark. John 1 verse 5. And today, Episode 48 is Prop 36 in effect. C4 watermelon Jolly Ranchers, say less. Yeah. Let's go!
That's a felony? Bitch, new laws. Stealing is a felony. And this is Orange County, bitch. They don't.
This new law allows prosecutors to charge people with a felony for certain drugs or thefts under $950 if they've been convicted of drugs or theft twice. It's aimed to reverse some of the ripple effects of Prop 47 that was passed in 2014.
Proposition 36 takes effect.
Tuesday, California voters overwhelmingly passed Prop 36.
Department released this video of women who learned the hard way about California's new law.
What's going on, guys? You guys are tuning to the Watch Podcast. Today, we're on episode 48. Is Prop 36 in effect? And before I get into that, I want to wish you guys all Merry Christmas. If I didn't see you guys or talk to you guys, our Christmas was, I worked. So, anybody else? If you guys work private sector, you worked. Unless you're special or you called out. But, just kidding. But yeah, I worked Christmas, and it is what it is. So, I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas, and I probably won't see you guys till New Year's. And we will be changing our podcast to the Night Crew podcast, and more focused more so on those that work the nights, and just tackling every industry that has to do with the nights. It doesn't necessarily have to be private security or law enforcement or EMS. Actually, it has to do with a lot of everything. So I'm pretty excited about the new change, and just need a little rebranding. Just changing a couple things. I'm pretty excited, and so this will be the last episode of the Watch Podcast, and we will be rebranding to the Night Crew podcast. So yeah, cool. Anyway, so today we're on episode 48. Is Prop 36 in effect? And before I get into it, I do want to briefly talk about Prop 47 that had been recently amended or reclassified, I guess. And that law had passed in 2014. And in 2014, I worked for 11 years. I've worked loss prevention and investigations and doing organized retail theft crime. We did store blitzes and we analyzed theft trends as a company. And we were able to, travel all throughout California, and I thought that was pretty cool. We were able to track people, and with the partnership of local law enforcement on resolving a lot of these cases, it definitely helped out. And so when I got out of loss prevention, mainly because of the new recent law that had changed, too many stuff was going on, and they told us that we could not put hands on people anymore. And that definitely changed the dynamic of loss prevention. And I truly believe that because of that, and because there's no one being held accountable for it anymore, that we're solely putting our weight on law enforcement to combat some of these crimes. Crime will continue to increase, regardless whatever proposition that anyone has set forth, and whatever laws are changing, and how serious it's going to get. Anyway, but Prop 47 was described pretty much as a get out of jail free card. Okay, slap on the wrist. Get out of here, kid. Here's a ticket. Here you go. Show up to court next month. So a lot of times, people won't show up to court. You know, obviously, you know, you got someone that's on drugs that got hit for theft. Law enforcement want to take him in because they smelled or whatever reason, and they say, "Hey, man, get the hell out of here. Here's your ticket. Don't let me see you here again." So they go somewhere else and steal, and the same thing happens. And it's repetitive, and they by this time, the person had all these warrants for their arrest, but it wasn't enough to take him in. And the warrant amount did not have anything to do with the Prop 47. Okay, let me explain that to you guys. It was the amount that the jails were willing to take. If it was under 10,000, they didn't want to deal with it. So, but Proposition 47, who everybody voted for, and because no one checked receipts on it, because everybody is, they just see what they see it, it looks good, and they say, "All right, we're done. Yeah, I'm voting for that." And they categorized it as Safe Neighborhood and Schools Act. Convincing. And it recategorized some nonviolent offenses as misdemeanors. And so it also required misdemeanor sentences instead of felony for certain drug and property offenses. Okay. And the fiscal impact, what it did for the year was the state and county justice system saved potentially in the high hundreds of millions of dollars annually. And the state savings spent on school truancy and dropout prevention, mental health, substance abuse treatment, and victim services. Now, if you kind of look look inside out, or outside looking in, do you see any of that happening? Yes and no. And it always depends on everyone's budget. Everything, just because these laws are in place doesn't mean everyone has a budget for it. And people don't understand that. 59% said yes, I'm going to vote for the Proposition 47. Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act, say less. And 40% said no. I was at 40%, part of it. And what the law did was it impacted shoplifting, grand theft, receiving stolen property, fraud, writing bad checks, personal use of illegal drugs below a certain threshold, meaning that they only used it for themselves, were all categorized as misdemeanors, and everything from the theft side was $950 or less. So, what's $950 or less? A lot of things. Headphones, less than $900. Batteries, less than $900. I mean, a lot of things were under $900, and a lot of people started to take notice. But was that the driving factor why theft is where it's at now? Question for you guys. And as a result of this measure, Prop 47, it saves some money, spending it on school truancy, dropout prevention, victim services, mental health. I mean, I get it. Yeah, maybe. But what did it do besides slap people on the wrist? No one's really been held accountable for it. We're putting all this money into homelessness and all these drug abuse prevention, but at the same time, it contradicts everything because they leave drug offenses a misdemeanor still. So you can personally smoke crack in the middle of the street and maybe get a slap on the wrist, say, "Hey, you can't smoke crack on the street," or a ticket. Other than that, most of law enforcement are not going to waste their time with it because they know it's a ticket, so they don't do anything about it. They say, "Oh gosh, Johnny's over there smoking crack again. Damn, Johnny, put the pipe away." It's easier to say, "Hey, put the pipe away," than it is to write a ticket. The problem was the law enforcement officers didn't want to waste their time. They wanted to deal with the big stuff. They wanted to deal with the stuff that's gonna keep them up at night. And so, can we say the law enforcement just didn't put a lot of effort into it? Yeah. But we can't piggyback off Prop 47. Because if every law enforcement officer was doing their job and handing out tickets for drug offenses, eventually they'll have enough tickets and warrants out for their arrest where it keeps them in a little bit longer. And it has happened. They do arrest people for, I've seen it where people have been off the streets for over a year because of all these tickets that they accumulated over the time. And now it adds up and they say, we're going to keep him for a year because he keeps getting arrested, he keeps getting tickets. And so we look at it and people say, you know what? They're not really holding anyone really accountable, theft. We start seeing an increase of theft, and I want to say during COVID, everything was shut down. So they said that the theft was because of COVID. But was it? Or was it because we had laws that just that were just so laxed, I mean, we think about this, right? California has the most harshest punishments. Even Prop 47 was harsh because in Texas, a felony charge isn't triggered until the value of stolen goods reaches $2,500. You mean to tell me that I can steal something $1,000 every day and not accumulate to $2,500? Say less. And it's a lot higher than California. And receipts show that shoplifting remain below pre-pandemic levels. So shoplifting went down in 2020 from 2014. And why did shoplifting go down? Because no one reported it. No one talked about it. The cops aren't going to do anything. Who cares? I don't want to file a report for a misdemeanor. I don't want to do it. So a lot of these numbers are not correct. They're not accurate because, at a point in time, you just get tired of it. You just throw your hands up and say, I don't want to report this anymore. But what they show is that that theft had gone down. And I just think, and I like to say that we just got sensitized. We got desensitized from theft, and we said, you know what? I don't even care anymore. Just go and steal what you guys steal. Like, I sit there, and I watch people run out with stuff, and I see the cashier just sitting there just throwing their hands up. Oh, he did it again. And they don't report it. They don't call the cops. So there's nothing to report. There's no numbers to report. The only thing we can go back and fact check is look at TikTok videos of people running out with stuff. Look at Instagram videos. Look at Kern County activities and see people stealing. But no one. But these numbers don't get generated, so it didn't happen. And that's how they treat it. After the theft, all the theft, the run out, the smash, people we're starting to see a lot more. They got tired of it. People got tired. Okay. The drug levels were at an all-time high. People were out there, fentanyl overdoses. Like I literally yesterday, Narcan somebody because they overdosed. Hey, darling, you hear me? Can you hear me? This guy. That didn't work, man. And it's because it's casual. No one gets in trouble for it. So they just look at it like they throw their hands up, say it is what it is. So in 2024, in 2024, they introduced a new ballot for this year's election. And it was the Homeless, Drug Addiction, and Theft Reduction Act. And 70%, overwhelmingly, 70% of people said yes. and 40% said no. Why? Why would it not be 100% of people saying yes, 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 opposed to the 40% that said no, 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 no? And a lot of it has to do with government spending. And then some of this stuff is far beyond our reach. And it's something that we have to sit there and actually, dissect everything when it comes to government spending. But if you guys didn't know, part of that Proposition 47 was they started to close down prisons. So California, in 2006, California had 165,000 inmates. And due to COVID and Proposition 36, prisons now house 95,000. Newscum projects that by 2027, the state would have saved $3.4 billion. He's already closed 4 prisons down due to the administration of Newscum, and he plans on closing 5 more. And we look at the cost of incarcerating inmates, it's $132,000 to incarcerate inmates yearly. That goes health, that goes everything else, food, housing. Costs them $100,000 to house an inmate. And not even half the people in California don't even make that a year. So yeah, I can see the concern that the Democrats would have when it comes to having these laws passed, because guess what? Now we're going to go back to prison overcrowding. We go back to prison overcrowding. Now everybody wanted Prop 36 to pass. Now everybody's going to spend more time in jail. Now the prison's going to be overpacked. Now they're going to be having to kick people out that have been there for a long time. Hey man, you did your time, man. Get the hell out of here. I got some guy that just walked out of Walmart with a cart full of stuff. So Gavin Newscum hated the law that got passed. Prop 36. He's mad. I mean, he didn't. As a governor, he has to say, "Oh well, guys, But he stated, "We know what's going to happen, likely to happen, as it relates to Prop 36." And he said, "I'll understand. I understand it. I just hope people would take the time to understand what they're supporting." And honestly, out of all the dumb crap that he says, this was the smartest one he said. I'll repeat it one more time. I hope people take the time and understand what they're supporting. Because everybody thinks that these people getting arrested is a direct reflection of Prop 36 that got passed. No, it's not. Last year, Gavin Newscum signed a $267 million grant. Do you know why you guys see CHP out there arresting people for organized retail theft crime? You see local law enforcement? It's because Gavin Newscum, I get it. We all can't stand the guy, all right? He looks beautiful. Every time I look at him, I'm like, God damn, you can't even hate the guy. But you look at this, you say, God damn it. But no one checks receipts. You guys think that the law enforcement's using their own damn money for these to combat organized retail theft crime? No, they're not. Gavin Newscum gave California a $267 million grant and said, "Here, this is to law enforcement agencies to be able to combat theft." And a year after announcing these grants to local law enforcement agencies to address the retail and auto thefts, Newscum said that those resources have led to 10,000 arrests. And he also stated that he's also recruited California Highway Patrol and local law enforcement in this initiative. And he also signed another large retail theft bill package earlier this year and had repeatedly referred to Prop 36 as a drug policy, saying it would usher in return to the war on drugs. So he's basically saying that this Prop 36 don't mean shit. It ain't even about theft. It's about drug policy. I don't know. I guess we'll see. And what this law will also do, Prop 36 would allow a prosecutor to charge a third instance of petty theft shoplifters as a felony. That means you have to get busted 3 times before you get charged a felony. You guys don't check your receipts. You guys see what this is going to do. Local businesses, they're like, oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, we're going to get these guys. No, they're not. And I'm telling you guys this from my own personal experience in working loss prevention. A law enforcement officer is going to say, well, we don't have a budget for that right now. I'm sorry. Our jails are full right now. I mean, I was listening to an interview with Donnie Youngblood, Uncle Donnie, and he's over there fumbling with words trying to find a good word to say because he doesn't know. He says, well, we have 100 beds,
My staff is working on a plan to add 100 beds just for quality of life.
We know. He doesn't know. Donnie Youngblood is sitting there clueless to how he's going to address Prop 36.
Will we see any immediate changes now that Prop 36 is in effect?
It's going to be difficult because of the lack of jail beds, but
because everybody's looking at this and says, oh my God, yeah, Prop 36, no more shoplifting. Wow. Oh, no more shoplifting, guys. No, wrong.
At the end of the day, we still don't have the staff to open Laredo Max Mead. I asked my staff yesterday, how many people have we hired in the last 2 years? We've hired over 400 people. So we really are doing it very rapidly and quickly, but we lose a couple hundred during that same time frame. So this is a difficult time for all of us, but we're as frustrated as the community is.
So the Prop 36 says, you know what? If I catch you stealing shampoo twice, you can be sentenced up to a year in jail. But what happens when you don't catch them? They're going to continue stealing. If you look at these major flash mobs that come into these stores.
August, the LA Times reported that the store suffered losses between $60,000 and $100,000. Because of all this, California is using a $267 million grant to help local law enforcement agencies increase patrols, buy surveillance, and do other things to crack down on smash and grab robberies. Several shoppers have told us they're
and out of random and just run out there. Can law enforcement catch every last one of them? Probably not. So guess what? The ones that didn't get caught will do it again. And they'll keep doing it until they get caught. And they'll stop for a little while and they do it again. And they figure if you get busted if you finally get busted on your third offense of the stolen can, if you get busted stealing this the third time, now you can get a 3-year prison sentence and a felony conviction with all the consequences that brings, including access to housing, education, and jobs. So now these people that already don't have jobs and don't care because they have a little hustle, and if they get caught stealing, they'll never be able to work a job that involves any kind of really anything. And so these people are going to be losing out of housing, education, and jobs. So what are they going to do? They're going to do it again. Give me 3 years? Shoot. When I get out, I'm going to do it again. This time I'm going to do it bigger. We look at this law and we say, is Prop 36 in effect? Is it? do we have this law in effect, or are we taking some more steps backwards into the initiative of combating theft? I get it. We locked them up for a year. That's fine, but they'll come out and they'll do it again, and they'll find other ways of doing it so they don't get caught this time. And if you look at this, if you start digging into details and you guys find some clarity on these propositions, you guys can see, guess what? There's a lot more to these propositions than meets the eye. It's what they put on the silver platter that looks good. Looks great. I love it. Proposition 6 to prevent theft and to stop people from using drugs. In my opinion, I see inconsistency. Inconsistency meaning that what if the county doesn't have enough beds for people to stay in, to house in? That means they have to kick them loose and give them a ticket. And they're going to flop back and forth with the Prop 36 and the Prop 47. Although it was amended, they're still going to say, hey, you know what, man, I've got to kick you loose. Why? We don't have enough beds. Really? Yeah. Here's your ticket. So what happens is now we're wasting county resources and trying to impose these harsher sentences, but we can't. Why? Because Gavin Newscum closed down 4 prisons so far. And he's looking to close 5 more. So you guys tell me where the hell we're going to put these people at. We're going to keep them in our jails. Keep them in our jails. There's enough people in. Is there enough beds for them? I mean, imagine you look at these videos on YouTube, you see several people running out, and let's say they've never been caught before. They've never been busted. They get busted the first time. Hey, you're gonna get arrested for a misdemeanor. Okay, slap on the wrist. Hey, you get busted again. Hey, you don't seem to learn your lesson. Slap on the wrist. Hey, third time. Hey, man, now you got to go to jail. And I get it. I'm looking at the news and everybody's hitting on this Prop 36. Oh, God, Prop 36 in effect. Prop 36 in effect. Prop 36. Prop 36 is not in effect. What Gavin Newscum had, the bill that he had initially put out there was the grant, that $267 million grant. That is what law enforcement is using to combat theft. Yeah, we can impose harsher sentences, whatever. But if you don't catch them, then it continues to happen. You know, they're going to find other ways of stealing. Like, no one said it. I'm still worrying what's going to go happen with these damn, these hijacked trains. The trains continue to be hijacked. They don't get caught. What's going to happen when they get caught? Nothing. Slap on the wrist. Give it back. Here's a fine. You're going to spend a whole week in jail. Petty theft. Misdemeanor. Your first time? Yeah, misdemeanor. So, yeah, I like Prop 36. I voted yes on Prop 36, but I knew after I checked receipts, I said, it's not going to work. Gavin Newscum is already, between Joe Brown and Gavin Newscum, they've already started closing prisons. So, yes, can this bill go to theft? Partially. The focus, homelessness, drug addiction. That's it. This bill you guys are going to see. I'm telling you, this bill is going to be directed towards homelessness and drug addiction. That is where Governor Gavin Newscum is going to put his resources at, homelessness and a drug addiction. So what Prop 36 also does is do harsher crimes for people that get caught with drugs. They're selling, they're doing. It's going to be the same thing with theft. They're going to give them a slap on the wrist. Hey, don't do it again. Here's a ticket. They don't show up to court, and they catch them doing it again. Hey, man, we got to bring. And then what they do is that they bring them to court and say, you know what? Now you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna be sober. We're gonna give you programs in there now. But now there's not enough money for programs for drug addiction because it got taken away because it took away Prop 47. So now when it comes to funding, they can't fund these resources for people that are that are dealing with substance abuse because now a lot of this stuff is going to go away. A lot of grants are going to go away. They can't do anything about it. And so that's why Newscum is calling it drug policy. He's listed Prop 36 as a drug policy because he knows that nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to come with the shoplifting because he knows that there's not enough prison to house these knuckleheads. How many times do you have to be caught before they impose these harsher, stricter fines and sentences? What if you never get caught? It's very frustrating when I see this is because everybody's looking at what's on the surface level. No one's looking what's under it. They're looking at a pretty car. It's got nice wheels. What's under the hood? Did we check what was under the hood? We go for a test drive. Did we try this out? Did we see if this car was going to was gonna last long? And what's gonna happen? They're gonna want to reform it again. Say, Prop 36 sucks. We need harsher sentences. Listen, if Texas can't get harder sentences, if Texas sentences are $2,500 or more, you think California is going to be able to roll onto this? No. Texas is Texas. And you look at it, you're like, gosh, damn, Texas is $2,500. It's as strict as Texas is. You mean to tell me that if someone steals less than $2,500, it's a misdemeanor? It's a slap on the wrist? It's a cite and release? Wow. California has harsher, stricter penalties when it comes to theft. So we look at this, and we look at this theft, right? We voted for Prop 36. We said we want to reduce the theft. We want to reduce people from stealing. But what about the homeless people that are stealing? The ones that have no home to go to, the ones that have no addresses. They give them felonies for that. They don't have time. They can't show up to court because they have nowhere to send these two. They have nowhere to send mail to because they're homeless. So you think that they're gonna just say, "All right, man, you're all right, little Billy Bob. You're gonna go to jail, and we're gonna keep you there till you go to court." He's gonna love it. Housing, free meals, a bed to sleep in instead of sleeping on the streets. Did California shoot themselves in the foot once again? Because it is going to be very, very inconsistent, and the law is not going to be stretched straight down the line. Because people that have something to live for will be the ones that get busted, but the ones that have nothing to live for will go get a slap on the wrist and say, "Here's your ticket. Get the hell out of here. Let me see you again." I see it. They know they can't afford to pay for the penalties or the fines. So why keep them housed? Why do them a favor? And they figure that, okay, well, there's in jail. We'll get some drug rehab treatment for them. Well, guess what? It ain't gonna work. The reason why I say it is because I've seen it. I see it now. I work security. I deal with homeless people all the time. Sometimes I don't see them on the street for a while, and then I see him a year later and say, "Hey, where did you go?" He says, "Oh, I was in jail. How was it?" "It was great." "Yeah, man, it was great, man. I'm glad to be back." So I mean, so it looks at me and I'm looking at him trying to check receipts. So I was like, "Do you mean to tell me that this guy has been in prison for this long, for a year, and this guy comes back out the first thing he does when he gets out is gets high?" Unfreaking believable. And it's going to continue to happen because California is allowing it to happen. California is focusing on the theft. How many of these people actually get busted? Okay, yes, all right. Gavin Newscum signed a bill, but that bill does not have any reflection on Prop 36. That bill that you guys see CHP doing out there, pulling people over all over the news. That ain't from Prop 36. That's from the. I hate to say it too because it sucks, but it came from Gavin Newscum, the retail theft bill package, not Prop 36. Prop 46 is to impose harsher penalties, harsher fines. You don't catch them, it don't happen. They're still gonna run. They're still gonna ransack mom and pop stores. They're still gonna steal shoes. You're still gonna see this crap on the news. It's not going to change. It's gonna get worse. They go to jail. They come out with they come out with these felonies. Now they're a felon. Now they can't get a job. Now they can't find anything decent to do with their life. So now they're gonna steal some more. Reciprocating effect. Just keeps going around in circles. Just gets worse for them. Okay, Eric, what do you think? What should we do? Let me tell you guys what I think they should do. Okay? Prevention. Theft prevention. And what I mean by theft prevention, I mean that you have security standing right there in front of the exit. People stealing. I don't mean like I don't mean like some little Joe Blow, some 80-year-old dude sitting there with a damn security t-shirt. I'm talking about physical security. Okay? Physical security. Having prevention techniques on preventing theft from occurring. Understanding the psychology of theft. I know, I get it. I know. It sounds like a freaking science project, but it's not. And if we prevent the theft from happening, potentially it reduces the theft. But these retail stores, Walmart, Target, Lululemon, Sephora, Ulta, all places, they're liberal companies. They want to do customer service. Customer base. And the more friendly they are, the more people take advantage, right? And obviously it sucks because that means we don't need to treat everybody that same way. But if several people are coming in all at once, there's got to be some type of theft reduction prevention for us preventing the theft from occurring. I talk about security. Reinvent loss prevention again. Now Walmart wants to put body cameras.
Come to Walmart and smile. You're on camera. Those greeters and other employees could be wearing body cameras.
All right. I get it. You got Ross. They're I don't know what they're walking around in slacks and dress shoes, and they're wearing a vest with no plates. Going like this. Can I see your receipt? Yeah. What? What is that? Is that supposed to be intimidating? It says loss prevention on the back of their vest with no plates. I don't know why they have them. Maybe it's a simple maybe they see people. It looks intimidating. But I'm sorry, I can't get past the slacks and the dress shoes. So what can we do? We gotta hire. These companies have to invest in private security, physical private security. Not none of that observe and report. Walking around with a vest with no plates in. I'm talking about physical security. Hey, get out of the store. What? Get out of the store. What? Get out of the store. Hey, get out of the store. Body cameras are a great idea to being able to identify these certain people. But what happens if they take the body camera and leave? They're already thieving already. Now you're exposing them on camera. Are they thinking about some of these things like that? These are big. Okay, if someone grabs a camera and runs, theft of a camera. And guess what? No face, no case. And like I said, I tell everyone I think it's a great idea that they want to get body cameras. That's awesome. But my question is, what happens when they just don't work? Because what's going to happen is it's going to become a thing where, hey, they got body cameras. Now the thing is going to be, all right, get the body cameras. And now they get the body cameras. They have no way of defending themselves. So now they're getting manhandled and they're getting forced. They're getting forced by hand with force, taking body cameras off of their chests or off their belt loop, wherever it's at. And that is going to become a series of more incidents. And then 4 years later, they want to pass another law to make it stricter. And the only way to impose some of this is to become stricter. Think like a criminal for once. What would I do? So it's real. It's we don't check receipts. We see what's cool, what's in. We get tired of things. And honestly, theft is a nuisance type of crime. It's a nuisance. Priority 3 calls. Cops ain't going to show up to a theft in time when you want them to. You guys think that these thefts are going to make law enforcement show up faster? No. If they have their task force available and they're doing sweeps and they're at the drop of the dime for people to call, yes, possibly. But they're already tied up on one side of town. There ain't nobody on the opposite side of town. People communicate. Hey, I got busted. Hey, they're here at Walmart. We're scouting. They're scouting. You guys think that these thieves are just idiots? They're dumb. No. They come in there they're not great plans. They come with a plan. And I think now that they see that now they have CHP that's out there running around. Now they're able to articulate, and now they can scope around and see if they see anybody in their car or anything where someone's talking on the radio. Now they can say, "Hey, man, there's cops here." So I don't know. You guys tell me what you guys think. Did Prop 36? Is it gonna work? Or is it going to be just what Gavin Newscum calls as their theft policy? Or excuse me, as their drug policy? We go from Prop 47 and get out of jail free card to Prop 36, still get out of jail free card. I have to get busted stealing these 2 times for there to be harsher sentences. Not on my first time. My first time, I still get a misdemeanor. I still get a slap on the wrist, and I still get a ticket. Okay? And I'll just find other ways of doing it. Find smarter ways of doing it. So, you guys let me know what you guys think. It's been pretty real. I've been I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And I've been watching the news, and I've been just like kind of shaking my head. I'm like, you know what, man? They're just sitting here. They're setting people up for failure. They're getting people to believe and buy into this thing like it's going to work. It's not going to work. Sorry. Not going to work. Not going to happen. Not going to work. Not a good idea. So, guys, it's real. I want to first of all saying that it has been real. And I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to the podcast. Appreciate you guys' feedback. You guys have been so cool, so awesome. And it really, really, I'm really excited to see what the future endeavors are. And I do podcasts, and man, maybe not everyone listens to it, but I hope that it sheds a little light into someone, and we can just kind of move forward from there. This is great. I probably won't see you guys for New Year's, but I want to wish you guys all a happy New Year, and see you next year. And next year we will not be the Watch. We will not be the Watch podcast. We will be the Night Crew podcast, and I'm pretty excited about that. I plan on getting some guests this time, and that it's kind of what I want to put my effort into is having guests of all different types of jobs that work nights, law enforcement, EMS, firefighters, whoever, man, anyone that works nights, I want to talk to you. And we're gonna try to get Kern County Activities himself onto a podcast. We're gonna see how he wants to roll with it. But so that should be exciting. That should be fun, right? But if you guys have any other questions, you guys can find us on Night's Watch Patrol on our Instagram, and you guys can find there's a link tree that'll pretty much send you to all the links that we have available. If you guys are looking for security services, definitely hit us up. We're not hiring right now, so leave us alone. Don't call me. I'm not hiring. It's real. So I want you guys to love God, love each other. Let's go change the world.
Been watching you, watching me, and it's plain to see that you got your mind made up, girl, that you wanna